Networking is just about pitching. Have you said that before, or have you heard someone say that? Well, you're in the right place for me to just debunk that myth. Hello, my name is Sigrid de Kaste. I'm the creator of Global Business Networking, live online, a very different kind of networking. And I have heard people say that networking, this pitching, I don't like it. Well, let's take that apart for a moment and have a real close look at what that really means. If that's what you're experiencing or you think you're experiencing it, take a look. Let's take a look at what is networking. What does it mean to you? That's the first thing. Be clear on what actually does networking mean to you. Does it mean to get together in a room and socialize with the other people, and then when you're asking them, oh, and what do you do, and they really go into pitching, and you yourself perhaps are one of those people pitching about yourself and who you are and what you do? That could be, of course, a hurdle. Everyone then is pitching. Or are you in a room where there's an expectation, a really clear expectation of giving and receiving referrals? All of the details are recorded, and regularly it is mentioned openly. This person gave this many referrals, this person gave that many. And, if you're not getting enough, you really need to present yourself differently and talk more about what you do and what you're looking for. And that can be perceived as pitching when every member in such a room is talking about, I'm looking this week for such and such a person for this and this reason. This is what I do. That can be perceived as pitching. But it is not necessarily, just like in a social setting, it is not necessarily pitching. It is how you are receiving it, how you are perceiving what is happening in the room. So be clear what networking actually means to you. Are you going there to socialize? Are you going there just to make friends, and therefore you don't want to talk about what the other person is doing exactly, or you don't want to necessarily pitch yourself and say, oh, this is what I do and I'm looking for this? Be clear, what is it? Networking is to connect with people, create a network of contacts that can help you, or whom you can help, to make the right connection, to further the business, to create collaborations, to have a different type of person from a different area of expertise that you might want to just draw on, to exchange an idea, to ask a question. All of that is networking, and it depends on what your own expectation is of what networking is. That's the first point I wanted to make. Now let's make another point about networking is all about pitching or not, or is it? The thing also is, where are you networking if you're perceiving it to be all about pitching? Where are you going to network? And we've already touched on that. What type of a room is it? But also, is it in person or is it online? There is a difference, of course. When you are in person, it is very different, and you may come across people that are what you might perceive as pitching because they just talk about themselves. It happens a lot. People get together in a room, everybody wants to stand out, and all they do is talk, 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 and that is perceived by everyone else as pitching because everyone's talking about themselves. So when you're online, that can be equally difficult because you can't, I mean, you're seeing everybody in the window, like you're seeing me here in this video window right now. But the thing is, it's not the same as in the room where you can walk away with one or two people and have a smaller group conversation. When you are networking online, it's usually a bigger group around, and it's your turn when you can talk. And of course, everybody then wants to talk about themselves and pitch, so to speak. But here's the thing, it always depends on, first of all, what's your expectation? What is networking for you? And secondly, where are you networking? What is the room? For example, the room that I create is one part of it is where you are sharing who you are and what you do and who you are looking for to do it with, or who you specifically are working with, looking to work with, and why. But you have another chance, a much more trust creating chance to share who you are, which is not pitching. I invite you to share a discussion on a particular topic that I bring in for each session that we have. And in that moment, in that time, you have the opportunity to really dig into who you are, how you think, what you do, what your experience is. And you are not at all pitching. No one is pitching. Everyone there is really sharing from the inside out who they are and what they do. And it comes across as, this is how that person thinks about this topic. And therefore, that is what they are doing. That's the direction they have taken. So, what does networking mean to you? Where are you networking? Number 3 is, how do you introduce yourself networking? Why do you perceive networking is all about pitching? Are you the one who's pitching and therefore you're feeling uneasy about it? Or do you perceive yourself to be pitching? That can be an issue there. You may be the person who's thinking about what pitching and what networking is in a very different way. And so that means you are not really clear on why you are networking, where your networking doesn't seem to suit you properly, certainly doesn't connect or doesn't add up to what your expectation is. So be clear about your own introduction at networking. And lastly, I want to raise the point around networking is about positioning your expertise. Now, whether you perceive some of that as pitching, that is really your side of the mirror. Let's use that as an analogy. There's two sides of the mirror. You're on this side, you're perceiving it as this. Everyone else over here is perceiving it as something different. So, how do you position yourself in networking? Is it pitching, or is it how you perceive it or others perceive it? Positioning means you are sharing with the people you are surrounded by in networking, at a networking event, whether that is in the room, offline, or online. You're positioning your expertise, who you are, who you work with, to what outcome. And if you're bringing that short and sharp into the room, then there is no pitching. It is very clearly then becoming a way for you to share your expertise and who that is best set for, who should be coming to you. And they will very clearly and directly understand that if you are positioning yourself in that way, and any kind of idea of pitching falls away. So first and foremost, understand what actually does networking mean to you. Where are you networking that you are perceiving it to be all about pitching? And thirdly, are you pitching, or are you positioning yourself? Now, if you want to experience what that might look like in the way that I've created my global business networking live online, we live stream into LinkedIn. Make sure you follow my invitation and register for a visitor pass for the next event coming up, and you'll be in the virtual boardroom with us in the Zoom room online, and we are live streaming right out into LinkedIn, where you can present yourself, where you can position yourself. I even send you with the registration my 3 fresh introduction templates so that you can work out what's your best short and sharp introduction version that you would like to use, and then come in and look out for the discussion topic that I will have at that point in time that you can participate in. And it's going to be fantastic for you to position yourself networking, not pitch, but position yourself. I'm looking forward to seeing you coming into the Global Business Networking live online virtual boardroom.